For today's review, we have set 76428, Hagrid's Hut, an unexpected visit, containing 896 pieces, retailing for $75 US, and it released in 2024. Taking a look at the prices on Bricklink, if you want to purchase this set new, the average price is going to be $69 US, and if you want to purchase it used, the average price is going to be $0 because there is no used sets on Bricklink at the moment. For our minifigures, we get 5 minifigures total, and going from left to right, we have Harry Potter, Ron Weasley, Hermione Granger, Draco Malfoy, and Rubeus Hagrid. Removing their hair pieces, we can get a better look at their faces. And flipping the minifigures around, we can see that we have some alternate faces for everyone except Hagrid. We also get some molded animals in this set. Going from left to right, we have Fang, which is Hagrid's dog, and then we also have Norbert, which is the baby dragon that hatches in the Philosopher's Stone. And here's a side view of the molded animals as well. So here we have our only side build, which is Fang's doghouse. Now, this has the same build as Hagrid's hut, where it has this circular build to it, so it's rounded here on the sides. On the back, it is a little flat. I wish they would have kept that same roundness, but it's not too big of a deal. The roof is also on hinges, so it can have this angle on it, or you can lift it up like so you can see what that looks like under there, but of course it's supposed to go down here. And I'm just going to leave this part open so you can see the interior better. So it just looks like it's wooded inside, which is nice. The one complaint that I have about this is I wish there was at least one stud in here so that when you sit Fang in here, he won't move too much or fall over like he just did. So that would be nice, but the house itself is very nice overall. So here we have the main build for this set, which is Hagrid's hut. Now, starting off with the front, we do have a door here that can open, so you can get access to the interior. Around the door, you have these ingots and tiles, which is used to give it this finished look, which I'm a big fan of. For the roof itself, you have these olive green, sand green, and this darker green colors up here, which give it kind of that mossy feel to the building itself, and it is consistent around the whole roof, which is nice. The chimney also has this Monkey Kid cloud element, which is being used as smoke, which is a nice part usage there. On the exterior as well, still, we have this stump out here, which is cool. The use of more leaf elements down here, some mushrooms, pumpkins. So those are all nice additions to the exterior. For the walls, we have more use of these ingots and tiles for added texture. I wish that was added here as well. Unfortunately, they did not do that here. So that's a shame. But if we keep moving, there is more of it on some of these other walls. So this wall does have that use on it, at least the ingots and tiles. It also has a leaf element, which is nice. More use of ingots and tiles for texture, which is cool. Back here, the same, which is more ingots and tiles, but we have a window as well, which is nice. And then this wall is the same as the opposite wall, where it doesn't have any of that, added texture to it. And again, we're back to essentially the front area where we have the stump and, the pumpkin patch. So one cool thing is you can actually remove these. And by doing so, you can recreate a scene in the movie. So there is a scene where Malfoy is spying on Harry, Ron, and Hermione talking to Hagrid. It's not set up perfectly here. You have to move these out of the way. So you take this stump and you can switch it to this side. And then you can take Malfoy and you can sit him on there. And if I move his hand, actually, I can get a better feel of it. So you can, just stand him on there, and then it looks like he's, peering into the window and spying on, the kids and Hagrid. And then at this point, Hagrid notices, that Malfoy is out there spying on him. So that's a pretty cool thing. The only thing is that you have to essentially switch these, but it's not very hard to do so. And, it is built this way for whatever reason, where you have the stump on the side over here and then the pumpkin patch on this side. So that's kind of interesting, but you can, easily switch those and recreate that scene if you want to. Now, there is 2 ways to get access to the interior of this building. One is taking off this entire roof. So if you go here on the side where the chimney is, you can kind of get under it and pull it off. So you can take this whole piece off, as you can see here, put that to the side, and then you have the interior of the roof here, which you can see here. So you can look at it from the top, so you have an aerial view of the actual building. Or the other thing you can do is you can actually pull these walls out and completely open the building itself. So this is pretty cool. So here's the front door. Oh, I accidentally removed that, but here's the front door. All right, that's where the minifigs come in. Here's the big chair that Hagrid sits in. We also have some stickers in the set. So we have a sticker here. We also have some stickers over here. So there is this key here. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to get in there. Let me angle this down actually. So there is a set of keys in there. We also have this portrait here. This is printed, however. There is another sticker in there as well for the fireplace. And then over here, there is one more sticker, which is just a couple of items kind of sitting on a shelf as a sticker. Now, there is some other stuff going on here. There's another chair here. There is, the pot where the egg is technically sitting in the scene for the movie. We also have where Norbert hatches. So you can recreate the scene where you have Norbert, the little baby dragon, kind of coming out of the egg and being on the table. Of course, it's not, accurate in scale because this dragon is way too big, or if you want, the table is way too small, whichever you want to go with. But, you can recreate the scene where Norbert is technically hatching. Now, another cool stuff is you get some collectibles in some of these Harry Potter sets. So you have this right here is technically collectible, but you also have one stashed away. So if I just move this seat and open this over here, you get another one of these frames where it's, a different, I'm assuming it's a different professor or just another collectible that you can get for the series, which is pretty cool. But that's pretty much it for all the details, besides like minor stuff such as like cups and the lighting and all that stuff. But it's overall still pretty cool. But I will say that to me it feels a little bit small. And just to bring some life into the build itself, I decided to place some minifigures in here just to kind of try and recreate the scene a little bit. Hagrid isn't sitting in the scene, but we just have him in there in his chair because it kind of fits for this particular set, right? So you have Norbert, you have Hermione, Harry, Ron over here, and then when you kind of bring them together on the inside, you can see that they're kind of surrounding the table a little bit, in there. So it's pretty cool. But again, the set does feel a little bit too small in my opinion. So again, here's everything you get in set 76428, Hagrid's Hut, An Unexpected Visit, containing 896 pieces, retailing for $75 and releasing in 2024. Now again, the question is always going to be, is this set worth the $75 price point? Now the answer for me is going to be not entirely. If you want to take a look at this from a perspective of price per piece, then you're going to be paying 0.084 cents per piece on this particular set. Which sounds good, but there is a lot of small pieces in the set. They're not really adding to how big the set is. They're adding more to the detail, which is not a bad thing. But it's something you got to take into consideration. First, if we're talking about the minifigures, I think the minifigures are essentially perfect for this. Obviously, getting Harry, Ron, Hermione, Malfoy, and Hagrid in this scene make perfect sense. Then you also have Fang and Norbert, which again make perfect sense because they're part of that scene in the Philosopher's Stone. I also think that the side build is perfectly fine for Fang. Obviously he needs a doghouse and it's in the style of Hagrid's hut, so that makes perfect sense for me as well and doesn't really take away from the set at all. It actually adds to it in my opinion. Now we also have Hagrid's hut, so you can recreate the scene with Malfoy on the outside spying in, which is very nice. I think that's a really cool job and how they did that, how you can kind of switch the stump on this side to the other side. That's pretty cool to me in my opinion. So the exterior I have no issues with. It's more the interior that I have issues with. It's mainly because of the size. It's obviously it gets much smaller on the inside, so there's like barely enough room for the characters in there. I'm not sure how accurate that is to, maybe the books or the movie, but it's, it feels very cramped in there, in my opinion. And while the set itself does a good job at, bringing a lot of details into the actual interior, such as Norbert hatching from the egg, the chair for Hagrid, as well as the area where Norbert was getting, essentially cooked to hatch. So it brings a lot of details in there, but it still feels very cramped, and that's just kind of where my issue lies. So overall, I don't really have an issue with the set at all. I think even with its small interior, I think it does a good job at displaying a lot of scenes from the movie. So I think that is cool. It also does that on the exterior as well by, having the ability to put Malfoy on the outside spying in. So it does a good job with all that stuff. My issue really lies with the price. While if you look at it on paper, 0.084 cents for a piece is nice and it's like good in the Lego world, if you really look at it, if it's a small piece, it's not super good, right? Especially if it's something that's cheaper for Lego to make. So I think that because the set has a lot of small pieces, I don't think that the price is very fair. I feel like $75 is a little bit too much for what you're actually getting here. I think 60 to 65 would have been kind of the sweet spot for me. I just feel like 75 is a little bit too high for what you're actually getting in terms of a build. It is nice. It does fit the Harry Potter, kind of community very well in terms of depicting scenes from the movie, but I feel like the price is just a little bit too high. And that's going to conclude my review of set 76428, Hagrid's Hut, An Unexpected Visit. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking the video, and if you are enjoying the content overall, consider subscribing. It is completely free and helps me out in the long run. Now, as always, I will see you guys in my next video.